Hi, Rita Zamora here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about resistance to social media marketing and how systems can help to overcome concerns. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. You're going to be able to keep up with all of the awesome tips and insight that we're going to share with you to help you keep growing your practice with social media. So I'm very excited to visit with another one of my dental besties and a Colorado neighbor. And just when it comes to all things technology and Dentrix training extraordinaire, Dayna Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, this is exciting to talk with you on your YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you. Let's hear a little bit about your expertise. You're known as a guru in a couple of different areas, so please tell our viewers a little more about that.
Awesome. Yeah, so, I've been in dentistry for 25 years or so, worked in 2 dental practices, and the second dental practice I worked in, I helped them transition from an old, archaic computer system to Dentrix. That was in 2003. And then in 2005, I became a certified Dentrix trainer. Really not thinking that I would actually go out and train, but I started training in 2006 and absolutely loved it. And since then have really kind of become the expert in helping offices transition from paper charts to electronic health records, implementing that digital technology and creating better systems and things like that. So yeah, I love it. It's kind of evolved over the last 10 or 15 years and super excited.
Yeah, oh my gosh, you're just a superstar. And whenever I have questions about technology or anything related to, Dentrix systems or anything like that, you're my go-to gal. And
I appreciate that.
yeah, so it was interesting when we started talking about, how can we get the word out about Navoni and your business and your expertise to help more dentists around the country. One of the things that came up was, why don't we look at social media and what we can do to help you expand your visibility there? And
Yeah.
you had some concerns. So tell us a little bit about that. I think some of the dentists and office managers watching could maybe
Yeah.
relate to some of those concerns.
Yeah, I know. It's for me, I'm a high D on the personality scale. And so that you've been around me a long time. I'm a high D, and so I am very goal oriented. I'm very systems focused. I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, and my goal is to help my clients, offices, friends, and to create more efficient, consistent systems. That's what I do. And so since I'm not I'm not a social person, I'm not on social media a lot, other than to really communicate with my family, because my mom was living in Hawaii, my sister lives in Spokane, my daughter lives in Seattle. And so my family's all over the place. And so social media for me was just about communicating with my family. And for business, I was like, content. I need to create courses, and I need to teach and do training and learning days. And so I had this hesitation of social media, and I'm like, that's just a waste of my time. I want to be focusing my time on creating content. And so that's really where I had this hesitation, because I didn't use social media a lot. And I only used it to really communicate with my family. I didn't see the value. I didn't see
there we go. Now we're getting to the root of the issue.
I didn't see that there were any results. And being a D on the personality scale, I needed to see results, and I didn't see that there were results and value with using social media. And so it really put a roadblock in front of me, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you knew that social media was helpful for you and you found value in it on a personal level, but from a business standpoint, you were thinking, how is this going to help me grow my business? I remember you also saying, like, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for this. And it meant taking some of your, maybe I think you expressed some thoughts about taking some of your time and energy away from focusing on your business and creating content to help your clients to do this social media stuff. Is that sort of what your
Yes,
thoughts were?
definitely, because I feel like I need to be present with whoever I'm working with. If I'm working with a client, I'm focused on that client, which is good. And also when I feel like going through email, because I get a ton of email from offices from all over the country. And I felt like, oh my gosh, if I take time away from these emails or responding to clients, or even just some person that I don't know, if they have a question for me about their software, I need to respond to them, right away. And yes, I needed to do that. And so I felt like if I then added social media to my day, I wasn't going to have time then to take care of my clients and the questions that I had coming in, because that was my focus. And so over time, my view on social media has for sure changed. I mean,
Yes.
it has changed a lot. And
Yes, and I think, I think one of the things that I wanted to really dig into is systems, because that's really what makes the difference, I think, between just throwing noodles up against the wall randomly or handling social media spontaneously, which can be very time consuming and ineffective. But on the other side of the coin, you use a lot of systems, and that's really what helps your business to thrive, right? I mean, tell me a little bit about the systems that we put into place for your social media and how this helped to change your thoughts about it and how you use system in your everyday work with clients.
Yeah. So, when I'm working with a dental practice and I'm helping them to create better systems in the practice, it's all about, creating the end result, right? You have this end result that you want to accomplish. You either want to fill your schedule, you want to improve the accounts receivable, you want to improve the cash flow, whatever the end result is, you create a system for that. And, so whenever I'm working with an office and I'm going through creating these systems for them, you have to work these reports and you need to make, this many calls per day, that's a system. And I get the same pushback from my office. They're like, well, I don't have time for that. I'm checking patients out and I'm on the phone and I don't have time to work a report. And I'm like, well, you need to create time. You need to carve out time in your day, in your week, to work these reports, because otherwise the end result isn't going to be what you want it to be. And it's like, ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
That's the same thing with social media. If I want this end result, then I have to carve out time in my day or my week to be engaged with social media, because now not only do I get emails every day from offices, I have offices instant messaging me on Instagram. I have, Facebook messages. I have people messaging me from LinkedIn, and I'm like, okay.
Yay, we love that. We love to hear that.
I know. And so for me, it was, and you guys helped me so much with really understanding how important social media was, in the fact that this was responding to my clients. This was part of creating content and being an advocate for my offices. And so the same thing for dental practices. If you want to see this end result, then you have to carve out time in order to work the system, so that you get the result that you're looking for. And since I'm a D, results are important to me,
Yes, we know.
If I want that end result, then I have to work the system. But I also understood that I couldn't spend all my time on social media. So I did need help. I mean, I did need
Systems.
I needed systems, but I also needed another, I had to outsource some of it.
Just some
for
hand
sure.
holding and guidance along the way. And the
I did.
key point there being systems, because those are the same, tools and techniques that you use in your business with your clients to help
Mhm.
your dentists integrate and implement these very important systems that are the life's blood of the practice, their profits,
Definitely.
their dollars. And
Yes.
those are the same type of systems that we set up for our clients and that we recommend for dentists and office managers, is having a system in place. There's, just a few things
Mhm.
that you can put into place. I know from my research, about 30% of practices are using an online content calendar and scheduling tool. So there's
Mhm.
tons more room
Yeah.
for practices to be able to, implement
Mhm.
more of these tools and systems and technologies to make social media marketing easier for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
so I wanted to just, start to uncover some of these, options that are available for practices so that they could see how we brought you from resistance to social media to where you are today. Now, how would you feel if you had no social media presence today?
Oh, I mean, people really wouldn't know, other than my core group, people really wouldn't know who I was. And because now when you go to do a search, I come up on the first page, and that would never have happened without social media. And I find that, um, when I miss a message, now I get really upset because I'm like, somebody instant messaged me on Instagram, and I'm like, how did I miss that? And so I'm still learning how to carve out the appropriate amount of time in my schedule to do that, because I get so focused on creating content and building educational materials for my offices, that I need to carve out time to engage with my audience on social media. And so same thing with the dental practice is that carving out time sounds like it's something you can't do, but what I recommend, at least in the dental practice, if you're the marketing director, but you're also the front office scheduling coordinator, if you had a dual role, then, have a little team meeting with your admin team and say, okay, I need 45 minutes today to work on the social media calendar, or I need 45 minutes to make calls to patients that are unscheduled. Can you cover the phones for me for 45 minutes? And so it's about working together, because everybody has systems that they have to work. And if you don't carve out time to do that, then the end result is not going to be what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And so the whole team needs to work together on covering for each other, making time in your schedule, and not getting to the end of the day and you're like, oh my gosh, I did not even check the Facebook account, or I didn't make any calls to my unscheduled patients, or whatever it might be. You get to the end of the day and you don't feel like you got anything done. So it's definitely being acutely aware of carving out that time and setting aside specific amounts of time throughout the day.
Yeah. And I think it's really important for us to let people know too, when we say set aside time. I think that's a red flag for some people, as it was for you too, because you're like, I don't have time. I'm already maxed out on what I'm doing. So I think the important thing to keep in mind is that with, the systems that Dayna is talking about that she implements with her clients, I'll let you speak to that. But with social media, it might only be an hour and a half to 2 hours per day, or I'm sorry, per month minimum,
or more. Okay,
with the systems that you have in place. And at a future video, I will go over what those key systems are
Yeah.
and how with the right system, it can help you to make you so much more efficient and effective.
Yes.
So you can definitely do this. And yes, there are practices out there that are spending a whole day a week if they have multiple practices and they have all kinds of social media platforms
Right.
that they're managing. But there is a way that you can make this manageable for social
Yes.
media, and then also for, you know, some of the services that Dayna offers. So don't let that scare you, because sometimes that unknown aspect is what holds people back. And
Yeah.
the whole point of this is to try to encourage you to reach out and ask some questions to get informed about what your options are.
Definitely. You know, we're not talking about 4 hours a day. You know, we're talking about little chunks of time that when you pull yourself off of the front desk for 15, 20, 30 minutes, it makes an enormous difference in the quality of your time, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Dayna, thank you so much. I'd love to hear now you say that it would just freak you out if you had no social media presence, how far
Yes.
you have come compared to back in the day when you were so resistant and almost a little bit hostile about this. And now you can find Dayna. What is your handle on Instagram, and where can people find you on Facebook and
Yeah.
LinkedIn? Where else?
Yeah. Yeah. Instagram at my Navoni, Facebook Navoni, and LinkedIn Navoni. So my Navoni is on Twitter and Instagram. So pretty easy. See oh, here it is, Navoni. I spell it Navoni. And yeah, so now I wouldn't own a business without having social media. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yay.
yeah,
And we think,
it's
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, it makes a huge difference in your visibility, the way people can react, can respond to you, can reach out to you. Because not everybody has my email, but you can find a company anywhere on social media.
Yeah, so good. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I really appreciate it. I hope people will look for you. She's got these really fun Instagram stories that are going out regularly and all sorts of great tips. She's a wealth of information for your practice when it comes to overall profitability. So thank you all for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already to keep up with awesome tips and insight to keep growing your practice with social media. And until next time, stay social, and we'll see you back again soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.